Welcome here for Punch Out Boxing. John T. Bit of a quiet one today, but there was some surprises there. Good night for the Nicaraguan contingent.
Yeah, it was a good night. We enjoyed that. I mean, it wasn't as busy as the last show. They can't always be as busy. We know the next one is going to be very, very busy with some big announcements coming. But it was a good card. We had a full 10 fights in the end. Usual troubles we had. Final week with pull-outs and injuries and foreign applications, etc. But there were some very competitive fights, as you say. Some of the away decisions, rightly so, they got the decisions. There was one there I was a little bit unsure of. I think SK felt a bit sorry for him. Saqib Khan from Slough. We were pleased to have him on the first show. I had him winning 4 rounds to 2. He lost a point, so I probably had him a point up. But the ref had it another way, and probably on that fight he engaged a bit for my liking. You know, probably a bit bigger. He could have jabbed a bit more, and he lost. And he'll come again. You know, we'll learn more from that fight than the others. But they were all good fights.
But this guy Lester Espino, that's like the third prospect he's sparked, and he's not a journeyman. I think I spoke to Mo off camera. He said, "God, probably deserves a title of some sort."
You know, we've been asked about that, to be fair. Not very often you get a journeyman that we're asking for a title. Look, he's been avoided. I take my hat off to Tretheway Palmer and his team. His opponent, Liam Griffiths, really poorly earlier in the week. We hope it's better. We see all the pictures, not that I needed it, but he was in hospital. He's got a neurovirus or something. So Tuesday, Wednesday, when I'm sat there and an opponent's pulled out for whatever reason, you pick up the phone to the team. Lester Espino is one of the most avoided journeymen out there. And I picked up and said, well, I can get you this fella. And they were like, we'll take it. So you got to take that off to them. You know, he got caught, and that's boxing. And again, he'll come again. And the most important thing is that he's okay. He seemed like he was, and he left the building okay. So yeah, he'll definitely learn from that as well and come back. But a couple of big surprises there, yeah.
Yeah, and just finishing the show there, Martin Forrow looks quite the talent, don't he?
Yeah, good looking lad. You can understand why he's a model, right? He don't look like he's ever been hit either, and that puts him on 10-0. He looked very stylish, he looked very composed. First time we've worked with him as well. Comes from a good gym, a good stablemate. Lots of celebs in that one. I think he's got Deji in there that they usually train with and stuff like that. So it was nice having them here. But he looked good, I thought. Yeah, definitely looked good.
In line for a big title maybe by the end of the year. Well, not a big title, but a title.
You would think so. Again, as I said, it's the first fight. I thought he looked good there. That is now 10-0, so normally around 10-0 you start getting those southern areas, or even English eliminators, or even English titles. So he's just been interviewed with Ali Drew, and it looks like he's saying he wants titles. So watch this space for him, I guess.
That's for yourself. A fortnight from now, back to the Peacock. Those brilliant little micro shows you're doing, and then in July you've got that big one in Portsmouth, haven't you?
Yeah, we're really busy now. July's a big one, so we got the Peacock in 2 weeks. They're always great shows. We love them. We get the doors being bashed down to go on them, as I've said to you many a times, because it's a totally different format where fighters are being paid on a small ball. So it's great. We'll see you later, Alfie. It's great what the Bowers are doing to get these fighters out there that advance on those tickets. So that'll be a good show. July the 8th, Lucas Ballinall and rowdy Portsmouth lot. I went to the venue and saw it last weekend. It's really, really good. It's a good venue. It reminds me of Brentwood. Probably a bit bigger, and the tickets are flying out, so we're expecting it to be very, very loud and rowdy. We'll have an announcement in the next week or two. We've pretty much got it over line Lucas's opponent, and that'll be a very good fight and step up, in my opinion, on paper. This fella looks very good. I won't let it out of the bag yet until it's confirmed. And as I said, there's a load of young talent from Portsmouth. You've got Ebony Jones on there. Mace Ruig has just come through on the Bournemouth show last week on Sky. He'll be back out on that card. Loads of them. And then we're back here July the 15th.
That's a big one.
We think that'll probably be our biggest one, certainly from a ticket sales point of view. The headline fight on there, what's this news on that? But those two alone probably do 500-600 tickets on their own, which is similar to probably what we had in here tonight. So and then we've got a host of great talent, big ticket sellers that we used to, added 1 or 2. And again, watch the space. 2 or 3, maybe 50-50 fights on there with prospects that might be 3-0 and 4-0 willing to just jump in and fight each other, which is great for the sport if they do that, because it's great for the paying public and everybody watching it.
Absolutely.
So we're excited by that. And then we're back at the Peacock a week later, so we've got 3 in a row in July.
That's fantastic. And then you'll have a rest in August, and then some big stuff, possibly international, from the autumn. So
and we've got a couple of bits, maybe a couple of different international ones as well. So September, October, November, we're having August off. We'll still be working in the background, making all the fights and setting up shows, but we won't have any shows. The reason we do that is purely because most people are on holidays. It's hard to sell tickets and let fighters go and have a rest and sort of like recoup. But we'll be ready after that here on September the 2nd.
Fabulous. Oh, keep up the good work, and yeah, you were the only show in town this week. So,
one of the reasons why I think it was a bit quieter, you had an FA Cup final, you had a national train strike, we had home fighters that ended up couldn't fight because they just couldn't get people here because they didn't live in London. Not too far out, but when you could come from Luton or Milton Keynes or somewhere down in Kent, you know, if you can't necessarily get tubes, it's hard to sell tickets when there's a train strike, so that didn't help. But yeah, there weren't no other shows on, it was all about football this weekend.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll see you in a couple of weeks for the busy summer.